You do not have to drown a whale. Don't worry, sister. Say your prayers and you'll be fine. And your voices always okay, this is the one instead of whatever the song is. Gentle Angry People is fine, but this one's just whatever the other one was called. Something peace. Whatever it was.
Good morning. It is wonderful to see you all this morning, especially when you had to come through so much liquid sunshine. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. And happy Pride. Yeah. Happy Pride. We're done. That's it. We're done. Yesterday was Pride here in the upstate and here in Spartanburg at Barnett Park because of this church. Because the Pride March and Festival began on these grounds where we are sitting today. And it continues to live here because of the life that has come up out of this ground and through the lives of us, of we, these people, to make such a vibrant expression of all of our lives in our home. You can see that we have a mural here, which has been created by hundreds of hands yesterday at Pride and continuing today, even right now. And you are invited all through the service and after the service to add your mark, to be part of this work of art that is a mirror of the art of our lives. Please join in this beautiful work. Now, last week we talked about concentrated sunshine. For those of you that don't know what that is, you're invited to a nice hot cup of it after the service. And I am no scientist, but my understanding of rainbows is that to have a rainbow, you need two ingredients. You need rain. And buddy, we got it. Pouring all day long, off and on. I've never seen so many rain-soaked UUs. It was wonderful. People laughing, slopping around. And the other ingredient that you need is sunshine, sunlight. Now, I saw lots of rain, and I saw lots of rainbows. I see the sunlight. I see in you, Riley, and everybody here, sunlight.
Mama told me when I was young, we are all born superstars. Roll my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. Nothing's wrong with loving who you are, because he made you perfect, babe. Hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way. God makes no mistakes, on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't hide yourself and regret. Love yourself and you're set on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby. I was born this way, baby. I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby. I was born this way. White track, baby. I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway kid, rejoice the truth. In the religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin. Believe in capital H-I-M. I love my life, I love this record, and me and more and full life, yeah. I'm beautiful in my way, cause God makes no mistakes. On the right track, baby, I was born this way. Hide yourself and regret, just love yourself and you said. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way.
I was literally yelling at you guys. Sorry about that.
Well, yell some more at us, please. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is on. Well, good morning. My name is Susan Tarragano, and it's not working. Oh, there you go. Oh, sorry, I got to move over an inch. All right, my name is Susan Tarragano, and I serve on the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. It's my delight to welcome you all this morning, whether you are here in person or joining us virtually. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcome just as we are. There are many important announcements on the sheet titled Connect at the back of your bulletin this morning. Please open your bulletin to see all that you can be a part of. Allow me to share a few verbally. Welcome to visitors. If you are visiting with us this morning, we would love to meet you to share more about the life of this congregation. Visitor cards may be found in the pocket on the back of the chair in front of you. Please feel welcome to fill one out and place it in the offering plate during the service so we can connect with you. The Upstate Pride March and Festival. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Pride March and Festival yesterday, and especially to our brilliant team of Stacy Jackson, Mary Underwood, Faith Taylor, Lacey Lipe for leading us. The Upstate Pride March and Festival began at this grounds of this church, and we are proud to be a part of Pride every year. UUCS Restrooms for All project. For several months, the RE Building and Grounds and Long Range Planning Committees have been in discussion about the possibility of making restrooms near the RE wing gender inclusive and wheelchair accessible. These discussions have been respectful, educational, and very positive. These committees would like to invite congregational input on the ideas that they are considering through both a congregational conversation and email feedback. Please attend the dialogue today, November 6th, after this morning's service in the fellowship hall, or you can email your input to Fred Stoll on the information in the Connect. Example concepts are displayed in the sanctuary foyer. We have learned a great deal from one another already. The possibility of finding a way forward that benefits every one of us is very great. Auction time. Get ready for our Congregational's annual live auction on Saturday, November 12th from 3 to 5 downstairs in Wild Hall. This hilarious, soul-warming gathering of our community is also a major part of how we fund the church's ministry. So please come. To donate items for the auction, including events, meals, and vacations, sign up on the board in the sanctuary lobby by this afternoon. Bring appetizers and potluck desserts on November 12th to share with everyone. Drinks, tea, soda, water, beer, and wine will be provided. Donations are appreciated and will go to the worthy cause of supporting our congregation. Come for the fun and stay for the community. Thank you for making this a place of warmth and kindness every time we gather across all of our differences. Thank you everyone for all you do and all you give to make this world more livable for every one of us. Welcome.
Good morning. My name's Paula Swaney. I am a recently joined member of UUCS, and I'll be serving as one of your worship associates with Mel Fritchie this morning. This morning for our chalice writing, we'll reflect on the question, how are we to manage? A question asked by UUCS member Bernie Kukuski, sincerely seeking a way to act in the world based on a lifetime of service, experience, and love. As UUs, how are we to manage confrontation and containment with the harmful conduct of power-hungry people in our society, while at the same time respecting the dignity and worth of those persons? Spoken by Black Elk, Oglala Lakota holy man who lived during a time that the United States took his people's land, openly violated his people's rights, and denied his people participation in our democracy. The first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers, and when they realize that at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, the great mystery, and that this center is really everywhere, and it is within each of us. This is the real peace, the true peace, and the others are but reflections of this. The second peace is that which is made between two individuals, and the third is that which is made between two nations. But above all, you should understand that there can never be peace between nations until there is known that true peace, real peace, which is within the souls of people.
The hymn is a lie. It is going to be 131. I didn't know the other one, so. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
This is a community of love and hope. Most importantly, this is a community. We share a ritual where we gather together and share our joys and our concerns with one another by coming forward and placing a stone or a shell in the bowl. I invite you to become a part of this community now by coming forward and sharing what is in your heart.
She says I smell like safety and home. I name both of her eyes forever, and please don't go. I could be a morning sunrise all the time, all the time. This could be good, this could be good, but I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love. She keeps me warm, she keeps me warm. What's your middle name? Do you hate your job? Do you fall in love too easily? What's your favorite girl? Do you like kissing girls? Can I call you baby? She says that people stare 'cause we look so good together. Oh, oh, I can't change, She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is patient, love is kind. I'm not crying on Sundays, not crying on Sundays. I'm not crying on Sundays. Oh, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
Our covenant, written by this congregation, provides the practical guidance on how we live together in community. These words, powerful when they were written, continue to gain power as this community manifests their meaning in its work. Let us join our voices and speak the truth of our covenant. We are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief.
Paula and I were discussing who got to do which parts in this service, and I said, this is my time. This is the time in our congregation when we greet one another. You should match your greeting to the other person's greeting, and if you choose to stay in your seat and offer a simple namaste or a fist bump, that is totally fine. But if you have already been using extra time to greet people up out of your chair and want to enthusiastically offer someone a hug, check with them first and proceed. Please share our joy. am sorry to interrupt you. Scott was looking nervous. Do you have something to say later?
It's all for you, and it's going to take a little while.
Oh! We talked about the coffee, didn't we? Okay, all right. Today is one of our Sundays where we share the plate. We work together as a community to support both local and global social justice causes and to aid those hurt by disasters. 2 Sundays of each month, half of our church offerings and all of the designated funds go to our Share the Plate recipient of the month. And I am really excited to share with you that our November Share the Plate recipient is someone that we have supported before, the School for Midwives in Haiti. About 70% of mothers in Haiti give birth at home without a skilled birth attendant or access to any kind of emergency obstetric care. And this number rises among the poorest Haitian women. So the school trains rural women to be lay midwives. Our own Ruth Stanton, as you probably know, has volunteered there. We load her down every time she goes with medical supplies and baby blankets, and we have supported them in the past. Personally, I had the opportunity to serve on a medical mission in Haiti, and this is an area that it is difficult to fathom some of the depths of the need and the poverty there. So please give generously.
Don't worry, mother, it'll be all right. Don't worry, sister, say your prayers and sleep tight. It'll be fine, lover of mine, it'll be just fine. Lend your voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from. Fill life with love and bravery, and you shall lead a life uncommon. I've heard your anguish, I've heard your hearts cry out. We are tired, we are weary, but we aren't worn out. Set down your chains till only faith remains. Set down your chains. Lend your voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from. Fill life with love and bravery, and you shall lead a life uncommon. There are plenty of people who pray for peace. If praying was enough, it would have come to be. Let your words enslave no one, and the heavens will hush themselves to hear our voices ring out and clear with sounds of freedom. With sounds of freedom. Come all you unbelievers, move out of the way. 'Cause there is a new army coming, and we are armed with faith. And to live, we must give. To live and lend our voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend our strength to that which we wish to be free from. Fill life with love and bravery. We shall lead a life uncommon, and we shall lead a life uncommon.
I really do want you to know that you can color on this mural all through the service. A couple of folks before the service said, what about during the meditation? Can we color on it then? And I said, I think the better question is, what could I possibly do to stop you? So we've seen people working on it through the service, and you're invited to continue. I can't promise you won't become a sermon illustration, but that's not a threat. It's the richness of possibility that lies before us. So I've seen folks kneeling and sitting on the floor, but if a chair is more your speed, there is a chair. Please feel welcome to come up and work on it while we do this. Join me in silence. People in this congregation have worked so hard with partners in this community and across our state, and even creating new organizations over the last year, like the South Carolina UU Justice Alliance, SCUJA, to work on voting justice. And I know that there's a lot of urgency and anxiety about the election that is on Tuesday, but that has been happening already through early voting in our state and around the country. And it's hard to wait, and it will be hard to wait for clarity of results because of all of the early voting. Millions of people across the country that have already voted. So I want to invite you to just go a step further with our silence. In all of the anxiety and urgency of this moment, you're here now. and you are in the company of people who care about you, whether they agree with you or not, I want to invite you just to take a few more deep breaths. Feel a little bit of that peace that Black Elk spoke to us about. It is there inside of you. Oneness with all things. This is a moment where you have the space to really feel it. As you use, as people, whether we identify as you or you or you or not, as people, how are we to manage confrontation and containment of power-hungry people in our society, while also respecting their inherent worth and dignity as fellow human beings? Every year we have an auction, and folks are invited to bid on sermons that they would like to hear preached. So far, they've always asked me to preach them, but it seems to me there's always the option of asking somebody else to preach them. It's a wonderful tradition of our congregation, and next week you have the opportunity to do it all over again for next year. But Bernie Kukuski purchased a sermon last November, and he sent me not just an email, but a letter explaining his thought with brevity and clarity and power. And I got the letter and opened it and read it, and I thought, oh my God. This is something that we have worked with many times. But the way that he has posed the question is to the heart. It goes to the heart. And there are many things about this question that he has asked us that already give us an answer. But my God, is it a hard answer? There is a work of confrontation and of respect that both have to be done. And that is a terribly difficult paradox. The challenge is not so much in knowing that it has to be done, but in doing it. The living of it is the difficulty. Now, I want you to know something about Bernie. He and I had a very rich cup of concentrated sunshine, and we shared thoughts. And he gave me permission to share just a little bit of his life story with you. It is going to be all too brief and no great detail. But I want to encourage you to talk with him. We're actually going to have a little celebration after the service today. Somebody turned 90 this week. And you're all invited in the fellowship hall after the service to celebrate with Bernie. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of sitting down with this man of years and learning, because this is a powerful experience to talk with him. Bernie, like Alexander von Humboldt, hails from Prussia. His family ancestry comes from the German state, noted for its militarism. And his family left Prussia to evade the building militarism. And we saw that militarism reach its apex during the horrors of World War II. That wasn't Bernie's family, they were here. But this is a man aware of his heritage and where that heritage can lead if you don't do something about it. His family did something about it. They got out. And in his own life, he engaged a career first with the armed services, the Air Force, and then with law enforcement. A very successful and profound career in law enforcement. And in the prosecution of his duties, he encountered a circumstance where he needed to confront a person of great political power about a serious violation of the law, including financial misdoing. And the whole force of power, money and political power, came against Bernie. And his career in law enforcement ended because he sought to enforce the laws of our land. When this man asks us to consider how we manage confrontation and containment with power-hungry people while still respecting their inherent worth and dignity as human beings, it's not a cheap question. This is a guy who went to the mat for our democracy and lost his career and a lot else besides because of it. And then he rebuilt his life. And to sit and talk with him on the day before his 90th birthday, and to hear this man talk about power in our country and the importance of democratically created laws and learning to love people who have done you dirty, that is a cup worth sharing. I urge you to avail yourself of this man. How are we to manage? I was walking out of Pride yesterday afternoon, carrying tents that are now spread out downstairs in Wild Hall so that they can air dry. I think even the metal got soaking wet, and I don't even know how that happens. And I crossed paths with another of our members, Ruth Stanton. There were 2 UU booths connected for our 1 UU booth. We purchased 2 booths so we could have enough space to do this and other amazing things. The UUCS Pride playlist is outside on QR code. You can use your phone to scan it and jam out all afternoon if you want. It's right out in the lobby. But we had a double-sized, double-wide UU booth. And then there was another booth, 1 section down, for the League of Women Voters, which is basically staffed by UU folks and friends. It was great. I think they got more of our mud than we did because they were downhill from us just a little bit. But Ruth and I crossed paths, carrying things to and from cars, packing up at the end of the day. Ruth is the president of the League of Women Voters and has led the voting justice effort here in our congregation. And we stopped to just set down our burdens for a moment and to talk briefly. And in the course of the conversation, I said, Ruth, I've just been thinking about this. Just watching you do all this work, all election season, amazing work in this city and in this county and across our state, and organizing all of these folks, doing so much, and having a whole team doing stuff, and just holding together the team, and the brilliance of the people on the team, down to a person. All of this organizational and community engagement genius, and this is flat out genius, shooting off like fireworks, and people trying to keep their fireworks shooting and not burn each other up in the process. It's just been amazing to witness. How many postcards got signed? Over 4,000 and more than 10,000. How many door hangers hung on doors and distributed across the state? More than 10,000? 15,000. All of this outpouring of effort. And I said, Ruth, there just seems to be something in that that's wrong to me. Why is it so hard to just be a democracy and for people to just vote? That doesn't make sense at all. If we have been created to be a democracy, and we brag to the world about being a democracy, and if you're not a democracy, maybe we'll come and bring our democratically created guns, you know? We've done that before. If we hold to that as such a strong part of our identity, why is it so hard for us to vote? Why do we spend months and years of our lives and money that a lot of us really don't have, pouring it into all of this effort to just try to squeak the percentages up a little bit, not even for one political party or another, just for participation? There are definitely examples of how this is done in other countries where voter turnout is like legally required, so very, very high. This is a strange thing. Why does it take so much work to just try to do the basic act of democratic participation? This month we're going to talk about how we deal with power in a democracy while still valuing the inherent worth and dignity of every single person. And I have no illusions that the answers I'm going to give you are going to seem on the front end like, damn it, Scott, that's not enough. They may seem really weak. And it's my job to push it, to try to show you something more. So the first thing that I want to urge us to do in this work of confrontation and respect is to just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Damn it, Scott, that is not enough. I've been trying that for a long time. In a culture where we are inundated by lies, I'm not sure how, but I got on someone's text list who is not of my political persuasion, and they have been happily texting me every day for the last several days, thinking that I'm going to go vote for them. They call me by somebody else's name. I'm not sure. I just let it ride because it was so instructive. It is a text full of lies. It is just lies. God-fearing, patriotic candidate that they are, and they make sure I know that too, just lying straight out. I don't see much as God-fearing or patriotic about lying. And so the direct response to that is to tell the truth. And when we tell the truth, as fruitless as it may seem, it does something. I know that we are anxious, many of us, about armed vigilantes going to our polls under the pretense of protecting the vote. Another lie. That is not how we protect our votes, and those are not the votes that need protecting. There's something else at work here. And if we tell the truth, it starts to illuminate that. The Ku Klux Klan, KKK, was created in this country for voter intimidation. It was created during the time of Reconstruction, after the Civil War, a time of serious confrontation and containment, in order to preserve the inherent worth and dignity of a whole group of people whose basic humanity had been denied by our Constitution. And during the time of Reconstruction, We experienced in this state and many other states exactly what would happen if everyone in the state was treated as equal and a citizen with a right to vote. Black leadership rose to political power. Black leaders were elected. It wasn't as hard as the fight that's going down in Georgia right now. It was obviously going to happen, and it happened. And so, a terrorist group was formed to ride through the night and to intimidate people from voting. When we see vigilantes going to our polls, it is for voter intimidation. And when we tell the truth about that, we realize this story ain't new. And it helps us see the democracy that we are trying to defend and be a part of in a new light. Voter intimidation has been the business of the day. And it is the anomaly that people feel free and able to vote. When we work for voter participation in our country, we are trying to change centuries of something different. When Black Elk spoke those beautiful words that we heard read today, his people have been drawn into a box. You can call it redistricting or whatever you want. Lines drawn on a map. This is where you have voice. It's going to count for a pile of rocks. And that's it. Total disenfranchisement. All kinds of social problems. Because the livelihood and the culture of those people taken away and put in a box. When we see lines being drawn by people in power to build districts and to manage who can speak at what volume, it's not a new story. And when we tell the truth about that, it helps us see what we're working on. I walked through the streets of our city last week with a young man. His ancestry is indigenous from the country of Mexico. His family's first language is not Spanish, and there are two of them. Two different indigenous languages are his languages of origin. And he has undertaken in his adulthood to try to reclaim those languages because the culture that he grew up in, the schooling that he had, stripped those languages away from him. Spanish is his second or third language, and the English that he and I were speaking is his third or fourth language. Talk about a brain trust. Anybody else here speak 4 languages? That's the guy walking down the street with me this week. And our country has said, no vote for you. No vote. If we were wise and saw a person this brilliant, I think we would want to retain them and access all they have to offer, their immense gifts. The practice of sidelining people is an old practice here. And when we tell the truth, we begin to see it in a new light. Telling the truth is an act of justice. It faces down the lie, and it reveals the power moves that are old and very much in operation. And it can help us choose our actions very wisely. We had a speaker here last month who already gave us a prediction of how the elections are going to go this week. And they may be disappointing for some of us. And we may see all this stuff play out. And if we tell the truth, that is all the more reason for us to dig in for the long haul and not let one measly election torpedo us. Think about it like this. Just imagine that there was an election for a position that had something to do with education. And let's just say that there was a certain academic discipline called something race theory or whatever that was actually a specialized form of thinking in legal scholarship that was suddenly used as a reason to motivate a base of voters to elect someone who legally doesn't even qualify to be elected. Let's just say that that were happening. The story about the KKK and the story about Black Elk and the story about my friend walking down the street with me shows how powerful race is as a construct in our country and why someone would motivate an entire base of people based on a lie about critical race theory that is not even taught in our schools. And there's a book by a professor at USC, University of South Carolina, published by University of South Carolina Press, our public institution of higher learning funded by our state. And in the chapter on Reconstruction, the eminent scholar Walter Edgar lays all of this stuff out for us straight out. But what the election is trying to say is, we don't want our kids to know that history, and we can well ask, why? Tell me the truth about that. Why wouldn't you want us to know that? Telling the truth is an act of justice, and our job is to do it relentlessly. As a confrontation with the lies we've been fed for centuries. And we can see the power of those lies. I'm not talking about partisanship. My ancestors' hands are filthy with this stuff. I'm talking about the world we want to create. And telling the truth is also an act of compassion. And I want to be super clear with you about how this works. Because when we tell the truth, we do justice. And when we tell it well, we do the work of compassion. We confront and respect at the same time. I stood there at Pride yesterday. And one of our other UUs, covered in mud from hammering stakes into the ground to hold up our tent, another cis white man standing beside me in the pouring rain. It's actually a great place at Pride for allies to stand, just outside the tent in the pouring rain, hammering in the stakes. It's a good place for allies. And this guy said to me, "This is amazing. It is pouring rain. And look at all the people walking around, standing out here laughing, having a good time. It's like it's not even raining. This is incredible. I wish everyone in our country could experience this." And I thought, I'm so glad I get to. Because I was raised in a loving home, parents who are wonderful people, who were way ahead of the congregations and families that they were a part of. But I remember when the first Pride happened, and I wasn't there. I wasn't the same person when I was born as I am standing right here. And I am super proud to be standing right here beside this beautiful thing. But people spoke the truth of their lives. They spoke it when no one wanted to hear. They spoke it with justice. And they would not stop speaking it. This is who I am. This is my life. And I had the good fortune that enough people near me spoke the truth of their lives and invited me to be part of that truth too. Because when we speak the truth, it's not just to win or defeat. It's to bring into that truth people who don't understand that they're in it too. People who see themselves as outside of that, who want to tell lies about it, who want to defeat it. People spoke the truth of their lives and brought me in. Justice and compassion that changed me. And we are going to do that for this country until it is what we know it can be.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Spoken by Black Elk, Oglala Lakota Holy Man. The first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers, and when they realize that at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, the great mystery, and that this center is really everywhere, and it is within each of us. This is the real peace, the true peace.
after the service, there's going to be a celebration, not only of one brilliant life, but of all our lives. We're going to have a congregational conversation, and it is going to be about bathrooms. We have seen whole states tear each other apart over this, and that is not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about gender. We're going to talk about how we feel. We're going to talk about listening to each other. We're going to talk about wheelchairs and ability. We're going to try to see many parts of our lives. And what I want to ask is that you tell the truth for justice and for compassion, to draw us all in to the world that we know can be.
We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again.